Good morning, Florida lacrosse fans. Thursday, September 15th. Lee Roggenberg, Florida Lacrosse News. Welcome to the show. Let's not forget our ritual. It's been a while since I had bought some Black Rifle coffee. And then as I was shopping a couple of days ago in Publix, I saw it on the shelf. Congrats to them for getting distribution now through Publix. I've always enjoyed their darker blends, and it's always a good cause because you are supporting a veterans-owned business. And guys, if you want to advertise on the show, just let me know. Okay, first of all, if you haven't already done so, please subscribe to the channel, like the video, contact us for advertising and marketing opportunities across the whole platform. And follow us on Twitter, Florida LX, Facebook, FLA, LAX, NEWS. You know this YouTube channel, obviously. Website, FloridaLacrosseNews.com. We are on Instagram. You can take a peek if you want to. And, welcome to the show. Okay, we've actually got in so far 9 more commits. Let's run them down. On the boys' side, Montverde 2023, Mitty Ryan Peterson is committed to Wingate. Forest High 2023, Samuel Martin has committed to Montevallo. We have 7 on the girls' side. Got to thank John McLean for sending in a bunch of these for me. Lake Highland Prep 2024 goalie Gabriella Adamson commits to Clemson. Wellington 2023 Mackenzie Marshall is committed to Detroit Mercy. Cypress Creek Girls 2023 Avery Smith is committed to Mount Olive. St. Andrews 2023 Mary Rowenhorst commits to John Carroll. South Forks 2023 Zoe Williams has committed to Kenyon College. A lot of young women and men in our area over the years have committed there. Palm Beach Central's Faith O'Neill, 2023, committing to Palm Beach Atlantic. She just has to take her jersey and change the C to an A. Boca High's 2023 Maddie Lotterman has committed to Queens University, which is moving to Division I, I guess 2 years from now. Congratulations to all 9 of you. Hopefully all 9 of you will do your commitment articles. I can tell you they are getting read. Please do so. And keep the commitments coming in. Just let us know, even if you haven't, if you aren't doing the article yet, just send us an email. Leave FloridaLacrosseNews.com. And just to let us know that you are committing so that we can mention you on the broadcast. PLL Finals, number 5 Water Dogs and number 7 Chaos will be facing off in the PLL Final Sunday at 3 p.m. on ABC and ESPN+. They did meet once this year in week 4 back on June 24th. Water Dogs with the 18-9 win. Those of you who watch PLL know that most of the time previous results mean nothing. Or as we say in the investment world, past performance is no guarantee of future performance. So take that with a grain of salt. And we'll see how it turns out. If Chaos repeats as champs, you all know where I feel about a 2-8 regular season. I won't get into that again. We don't need to. Stetson announced their fall ball schedule will be starting on September 16th. So that's tomorrow. If you're in the area, you need a little lacrosse fix, and you have a chance to see Stetson, go ahead and go do so. Corrigan Sports, you saw the press release yesterday that we put up. They have a series of All-American high school games that kids all over the country try out for. They've added an event for the rising juniors as part of the overall event. and added New Balance as the event partner. Again, New Balance, if you're out there, hit us up for advertising and marketing. You reach a heck of an audience when you do so. And just nice that the rising juniors. I would hate to see it go further down the list, to be honest. The kids do try out for this, and it's always a nicely covered and followed event, and it's a prestigious thing to have going into your recruiting period. And you obviously get a lot of play with that. So just wanted to mention that. Booker Corrigan's been a very good fan of our website, has talked about us elsewhere, and we always appreciate helping return the favor of Corrigan. St. Leo's men's lax. There was an interesting little Twitter bit. They apparently run a uniform number draft. I didn't really see the details of it, how they do it. I don't know if it's just the incoming freshmen that do it in order to do that, or if maybe it's the all under the class. If anyone from St. Leo wants to drop me a note or respond on Twitter about the details of it, it just kind of looked like a fun little thing to do, and maybe other schools can kind of emulate it. I think a lot of us have read over the years about how a number could be very important to someone in the pro ranks, to the point where they pay big money to buy the right to the number from an existing teammate on the new team. So there's a little bit more into it that goes, sometimes maybe there's a superstition, maybe there's a family connection, something along those lines. And it was just kind of fun to see that St. Leo was doing that. University of South Florida continuing their push towards the start of their program and the start of the season. Posted a picture of their indoor sports facility that's being built so that they'll be able to practice even in inclement weather, which was something that Jacksonville had a little bit of an issue with. Mindy was showing off the inside. Looked great, but it's not the Hobart and William Smith bubble. That can handle snowstorms. So still, it's a great thing to have. And again, once again, showing the push towards expanding facilities on college campuses around the country. I wasn't able to read the article because it's behind the paywall. But the Orlando Sentinel had a feature story on Windermere Prep's Jackson Bennett about being a star player in both football and lacrosse. And again, just kind of shows that the importance of not just playing one sport year round. You certainly can play two at a very high level. They mentioned in the article that it was sort of their first time since Jared Bernhardt was in high school that they wrote a similar piece for someone who was a star in the two sports. So if you're in the Orlando area, you get a chance to read it. If you have their subscription, take a look at it and have fun with it. Excuse me. Shooters Lacrosse over in the Tampa area as their registration open for their fall schedule. Take a look at it, tampalacrosse.com. There's an interesting article that I caught on Sportico, sportico.com, which is apparently one of the major trade publications for the sports industry. Excuse me. Just got a little frog in my throat today. And the feature story was on why are people in the sports industry in college seeming to turn over rapidly. Many people lasting just a couple of years, maybe you're in sports communication, athletic training, sports administration, and there seems to be a higher turnover rate than in a lot of other industries. Now, part of that, let's remember, we've had a kind of a strange last couple of years. Maybe those numbers change as we get back to normal. But I can kind of tell you from personal experience of dealing with, say, people who work in the communications departments and write the press releases, that I have seen a lot of turnover over the years. It seems more and more that they're given more and more sports. When you kind of go to their websites and you look who's responsible for what sports, unless you're at the really high end, the Gators, Florida State, a lot of SEC schools, etc. You're seeing people who are responsible for 5, 6, 7 sports, and what it does is it makes the press releases on the game recaps formulaic, unfortunately. And I can kind of understand where people would get a little bit frustrated. A lot of people who go into sports communication probably have as their career path the desire to be a sports journalist down the line. So maybe the fact that the turnover in Division 2 and 3 is more than Division 1 is just kind of the natural career path. You get some experience. You have a chance to work a bigger beat. You take it. Maybe you've got a network job or a Sports Illustrated or an ESPN in the back of your mind as your target to one day, want to work with. And so, maybe that's part of all this too. But I can tell you that it's been frustrating from my standpoint for some of the schools down here that have really fallen off in sending their press releases out. I've asked multiple times with multiple people to be put on lists only to not have it happen. And for me, I have to kind of chase some things down. And I miss articles because of that put it into it. So if this is going to be the way it is going forward, where you're sort of overwhelmed at the beginner end of these jobs, and they're not high-paying jobs either. Let's not kid ourselves. Maybe there's some fringe benefits I don't know about. Maybe you can take a class for free, maybe at the school as part of being the employee, and all the rest. But I just found it kind of interesting. Anyone who's sort of familiar with Sportico wants to take a look at it. It's not as detailed as maybe as far as why. They haven't really gotten into that yet, but I did find it kind of interesting. Lax Playground, just want to mention that, they have been producing a number of podcasts on the Apple platform. I did listen to one with Tom West earlier this year. They've been good with following us too and retweeting things. And so I just wanted to kind of give them a shout out if you're into podcasts in the lacrosse world, check them out and give it a chance. Okay. One thing that I kind of briefly mentioned, I guess a week ago, what's going on with a second route that USA Lacrosse is now getting into with youth lacrosse and their development model. And it certainly will affect a little bit the club scene as far as giving a second path for parents who maybe want to look at a little different approach with their kids in playing. I've got, I went through and looked a little bit at it. The development program I found it on the USA Lacrosse North Florida chapter. Thanks to Bill Schatz for sending me the link to it. It's certainly worth taking a look and familiarizing yourself. It is very detailed. It's very interesting, and they actually name the grades, the grade level that the players are looking at. It was almost kind of reminded me of a book that came out many years ago by Bill Bennett, who was the former Secretary of Education. Oh gosh, I'm blanking on it now, but it basically laid out what should your kid know by what grade, what historical references, what critical thinking, what knowledge of science and math, etc. And it's very similar to that, with a very detailed look about where should your kid be at certain parts of their development and what to focus on. And I think you're going to be hearing more and more about this, because if USA Lacrosse is putting their money and time behind it, this is something that, if you're a club coach, I strongly suggest you read up on this if you haven't already done so, and try to start to co-opt some of this, because the old model is eventually going to struggle with growth from here, given the cost. And certainly there are plenty of parents, and particularly kids who want to play for fun, are not necessarily looking to become college players, but love the sport and want to get maybe a little bit different path. I think that this is going to be the next venue for them to be exploring. Okay. All right, middle of September. Remember, let's always grow the game, respect the game, and honor the game. PLL Championships, catch it on ABC or ESPN Plus. Enjoy. This is Lee Roggenberg, Florida Lacrosse News. We'll see you on Tuesday morning at 8:30, and so long from the Sunshine State.